Hello, a very warm welcome to Granada Reports. We're live with the latest across the northwest.
Hello, here are just some of the programme's stories tonight.
The outpouring of support for Cristiano Ronaldo as he and his partner grieve for their baby son.
After the Partygate fines, another apology, but what do families here who lost loved ones to COVID make of developments in the Commons in the past few hours?
As visitors flock to the lakes, why some locals say they're being priced off the buses.
There's no other planet like Earth.
And Anishwa, age 7, is with us live after that amazing appearance on Britain's Got Talent.
So please stay with us. First, though, the Manchester United player Cristiano Ronaldo and his family have had messages of support from across the world after the death of one of their newborn twins.
Their baby girl was delivered safely, but their little boy passed away. The couple made the announcement, quote, in the deepest sadness on social media, saying they're devastated at the loss. Jennifer Buck reports.
World-class footballer, multi-millionaire and global icon. But most importantly, a father. And today, Cristiano Ronaldo and his family are in mourning. It is the greatest pain that any parents can feel. Ronaldo and his partner Georgina Rodriguez announced the loss of their newborn son on Instagram. Their baby girl survived, and they say that is giving them strength to live this moment with some hope and happiness. Georgina has recently starred in her own self-titled Netflix show portraying their life. The couple said in October they were expecting twins and shared happy family pictures.
It doesn't matter who you are, really. It will impact you in the same way. There is no hierarchy of grief. It doesn't matter whether you lose your baby very early on in pregnancy or full term, as Cristiano sadly has. And it doesn't matter. And in a way, I feel more sorry for him because he has to grieve and go through this process in such a public way.
Manchester United led the messages of condolence, saying your pain is our pain, sending love and strength. Teammate Marcus Rashford said, thoughts are with you and Georgina. Brother, I'm so sorry. And it is a reminder of the grief being felt by so many families. The football team Angels United was set up in Manchester to help bereaved parents. Ollie Monk started the team in 2019 after he and his wife lost their twins Dottie and Poppy.
As a dad, you have to be strong. You have to be the one that you try not to show your emotions, you try not to do this or that because you're there to support your partner going through it. There's a lot of support out there for dads now, and it is the hardest thing is for them to reach out, whether it's Angels United or SANS or lots of other organisations that don't involve football, because football's not for everyone, but we use sport as a tool and hopefully it helps.
And hopefully it will help, as Ronaldo and his family ask for privacy to grieve. Jennifer Buck, ITV News in Manchester.
And if you've been affected by any of the issues we've been reporting on there, you can find sources of help and support on our website. That's at itv.com/Granada.
Let's go to Anfield now, where the usually massive Liverpool-Manchester United match has been somewhat put into context by Ronaldo's loss. Ralph Blunsom is there tonight. Ralph.
This match remains as competitive as it always has been, as competitive as ever, and the rivalries here are as strong as ever. But speaking to some of the fans here preparing for tonight's kickoff, there is a different atmosphere before tonight's start at 8 o'clock tonight. Cristiano Ronaldo himself not taking part tonight, his absence confirmed by United online in a statement. They say family is more important than everything. Ronaldo is supporting his loved ones at this immensely difficult time. What we are expecting to see and to hear in the 7th minute of tonight's match is 1 minute's applause for the player and his family. That has been organised by the players here, a large online community. Let me give you a flavour of some of the tweets that have been going around today. One, it says, I've just read Liverpool fans are going to clap in support of Ronaldo on the 7th minute of the game tonight. Tragedy has no colours. And another says rivalries tonight mean nothing at times like this.
Absolutely they don't. Ralph, thank you very much indeed. Let's get the latest now on what's become known as Partygate, the controversy over whether COVID rules were followed in Downing Street during the pandemic.
Yeah, while we've been on air, Boris Johnson's been giving a statement to MPs, his first since he and the Chancellor were issued with fixed penalty notices by police.
Our political correspondent Leisha McNally's been watching proceedings. And Leisha, the Prime Minister's said sorry again.
That's right, Rob. Straight back from recess and straight back into the Partygate scandal that's dogged Downing Street since before Christmas. In the last hour, the Prime Minister has faced the Commons after that police fine over the holidays confirmed that the man who wrote the rules broke the rules. Now, this is his first fine. It may not be his last. The police are investigating a number of events, and Boris Johnson has promised that he will honour the outcome of that investigation. Today, he repeated his apology to the House and said it was people's anger and disappointment that compelled him to carry on, focusing on other important issues such as the war in Ukraine.
It did not occur to me then or subsequently that a gathering in the Cabinet room just before a vital meeting on COVID strategy could amount to a breach of the rules. I repeat, that was my mistake, and I apologise for it unreservedly.
What has that apology meant to the many thousands of grieving people looking at an empty chair over the dinner table tonight? Amos Waldman is a barrister from Greater Manchester whose grandmother died in April 2020. He couldn't say goodbye and had to watch her funeral over Zoom. He told us that grieving families have been insulted.
In a long career, I've seen some laughable defences, but that's right up there, frankly, in my view. And it's insulting and it upsets bereaved family members every time that he talks about it. An apology is just not enough. What he needs to do is resign. And if he won't do that, then the Conservative Party should do that for him, because every MP that supports him is complicit in him undermining democracy in this country.
Alicia, there will be a chance for MPs to vote on this issue later in the week.
That's right, Lucy, and that's because we've previously heard the Prime Minister assure Parliament that no rules were broken inside Number 10. Now the big question is, when Boris Johnson made that assurance, did he knowingly mislead Parliament? Today, the Chorley MP and Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, has granted a debate on that, which will take place on Thursday. MPs will then vote on whether or not to refer the matter to a parliamentary investigation. Now, with a majority of 80, this isn't a vote the government is likely to lose. What it does do, though, is make sure that those MPs who've kept pretty quiet about Partygate up till now will have to decide whether or not they will publicly support the Prime Minister on this issue. And that means big decisions ahead for the 28 Tory MPs who represent constituencies in the North West.
And of course, we'll be watching. Leisha, thank you very much for that. Well, on to more news now. And the family of a man who died after an incident at an internet cafe in Liverpool say he was due to be a dad in 3 months' time. Michael Toohey died on Saturday. A 34-year-old woman's been arrested on suspicion of assisting an offender.
Manchester Airport's fully reopening its third terminal to cope with demand, which has seen huge queues in recent weeks. Bosses have blamed having too few staff after the pandemic to meet the increase in passengers after restrictions were lifted. Several airlines, including BA and Ryanair, will be moving to Terminal 3.
Yeah, this is some good news. A schoolboy from Cumbria who set out to raise £6,000 for charity by raffling a wooden bowl that he'd made himself has now raised almost £250,000. Gabriel Clark made the bowl, etched with the colours of the Ukrainian flag, to fundraise for children caught up in the war. He's only 12 and his campaign was picked up online. Thousands of people entered to win.
Go on, Gabriel. Brilliant. Still to come tonight.
We meet the incredible 7-year-old dubbed a mini David Attenborough.
And we were certainly treated to a rather cracking weekend weather-wise. The rest of this week, well, it's looking quite quiet. All the details weather-wise are coming up.
And Mary has details of the ITV news.
The Prime Minister's first address to Parliament after being fined for breaking lockdown rules. We will have reaction and analysis. The next phase of the war in Ukraine is underway as the Russians move to capture the Donbass region. We're live at Anfield ahead of tributes planned for Cristiano Ronaldo after the loss of his baby son. And a big day in the dock for Johnny Depp at the US trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Would you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Now, it's the time of year when millions of people start to descend on the Lake District. You might have done yourself at the weekend. But it is unlikely that they or the thousands of workers who commute to the tourist hotspots to look after them will be arriving by bus.
Yeah, many say services are unaffordable and unfit for purpose, yet prices are rising and the area has just missed out on vital funding for public transport. Andy Bonner has this report.
The Lake District is the destination for millions, and at the head of Windermere, Ambleside is a popular base for climbing, hiking and biking. But for many, getting here without a car just isn't an option.
I wouldn't even conceive how I could catch a bus from where I've just come from to here. Car parks are full, which means that people are thinking that that's the only practical option.
It's just more convenient to jump in the car. And then, of course, the other thing is you've then got the cost. What's the bus going to cost? There's 5 of us, plus the dogs.
If it's a problem for tourists, it's a real issue for those serving them. Most Lake District businesses are struggling for staff. Attracting them from places like Kendal is vital. But a return on the bus is £12, 30 for the week.
It's more than an hour's pay for me. For me, that's just not financially viable. So I was driving, and then obviously petrol prices have gone up exponentially in the past few weeks.
Before I moved here, I never had a car because I never needed one. But I came here and realised my quality of life was going to be much diminished if I didn't.
The government's spending £7 billion levelling up transport outside London. Some fares are 45% cheaper, with many inner city routes costing just £2.50. But Cumbria is not getting any of the money. Plans for cheaper season tickets for low-paid workers were turned down.
It's a bit of a kick in the teeth because there's a lot of hospitality jobs. Obviously the tourism industry is massive in the lakes, and it affects probably the vast majority of the people who are living here to work.
A friend in Manchester, it's £1.50 for, magic bus anywhere she wants to go in the Manchester area, and a 15-minute bus ride here can be at least £5. How is that fair?
If there isn't government support, what there could be is some kind of eco-levy on traffic coming into the lakes, and then the money could be ring-fenced to subsidise good public transport. People would change their habits, people would take public transport, they might even enjoy it.
The main provider, Stagecoach, says we've been very sensitive to the cost of living. No fare increases for 3 years. But with rising fuel prices, ticket prices have now had to follow suit. For one single mum, this is a town she can't leave.
It's been roughly 5-6 years since I've actually left Ambleside myself, only because I can't afford public transport, so me and my son stay here.
For some, even the bus now seems the preserve of the rich. Andy Bonner, ITV News.
On to sport now, in time for an old rivalry with plenty on the line. Here's Chris.
Yeah, huge game in the title race, but also in the battle for a Champions League spot. And it makes rivals out of two old friends. Jurgen Klopp's friendship with fellow German Ralf Rangnick goes back 25 years. But ahead of tonight's clash between Liverpool and Manchester United, Klopp says that relationship is on hold, as David Chisnall reports.
3 days after celebrating victory over a Manchester club in the Cup, Liverpool are now hoping to inflict misery on another Mancunian rival, this time in the league. While at present it's City who provide the biggest rivalry, it's United's who still holds the greatest prestige.
It's a big game. It's a massive game. Two biggest clubs in the world, I would say. This time it's an incredibly important game again for both teams. And that says it all. So both teams are fighting for being in the Champions League next year or more.
We might be the underdogs for most people. We still know that if we raise our level, if we play a top performance ourselves, that we have a chance to get 3 points there. And this will be our ambition and our goal.
Well, amid continued protests by United fans towards their American owners, the club are in the hunt for Champions League football next season. To finish in the top 4, their interim manager believes they'll need to win all their remaining games, and that's a similar story for Liverpool, who are battling City for the Premier League title. Well, Klopp and Rangnick know each other well from their days in Germany, so what happens to their friendship tonight?
On hold. Now, we didn't have contact since he's in England, since he's at United. I think that's just due to respect. I respect his job, he respects my job.
He's no doubt one of the best, if not the best coach, not only now, but also in the past couple of years. If this should be a role model, I don't know, but it's definitely, again, no coincidence what has happened there in the last 6 years.
Old friends will become new foes at Anfield this evening for the latest chapter of one of football's greatest rivalries. David Chisnell, ITV News.
Yeah, always a fascinating fixture, that one. Now let's move on to the Championship, though, and Blackburn are 3 points outside of the playoffs with 3 games left after losing to Stoke. But Blackpool picked up their first win in 6 matches. 6-1 they beat Birmingham City at Bloomfield Road. In League One, Bolton Wanderers beat Accrington Stanley 3-1. At the other end of the table, Morecambe picked up an important point with a 1-1 draw against Portsmouth, while Fleetwood Town held relegation rivals Gillingham to a goalless draw. Tranmere Rovers climbed back into League Two's playoff spots with a 2-0 win over Exeter. Salford City are just 3 points behind them after snatching a last-minute 2-2 draw with Barrow. Barrow's relegation rivals Oldham lost, which means Rochdale are officially safe. They beat Hartlepool 2-1. Now to boxing. And this week, Tyson Fury defends his world heavyweight title at Wembley Stadium. But will his opponent even turn up? Today, Fury's been in the ring at the public workout. It should have been the first chance to score a few psychological points, but his opponent, Dillian Whyte, didn't show up because of a late flight. Whyte also chose to miss their press conference last month because he was training in Portugal. There is another press conference, though, tomorrow when the two fighters should finally come face-to-face, and we'll be there too. Well worth a watch tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. Well, I can tell you someone who has turned up is in our studios tonight is the 7-year-old boy who wants to save the planet and who stopped the nation in its tracks this weekend. He's already being hailed as the new David Attenborough. He stole the show on Britain's Got Talent.
Well, we're pleased to say Anishwa, who's from Warrington, made his first TV appearance right here on Granada Reports. But he had a special invitation to appear on national TV from David Walliams.
There's no other planet like Earth. It holds plants and flourishes life. It is an amazing creation. A real inspiration. There's no other planet like Earth. It's sad that we've been getting it wrong for much, much, much too long. Cutting down trees, polluting the seas, poaching the animals for accessories. We need to stop getting it wrong.
How good is he? And Anishwa and his dad Anil are with us now. It's lovely to see you both. You were so cool and calm when you walked out on that stage.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. How did it feel going out in front of all those people?
Oh, I felt really great.
Just great, that's it.
Yeah, I felt amazing.
A
And
bit
I'm happy
scared?
that I'm spreading the awareness about the wildlife to all these people.
And what was the best part of doing that?
I would say meeting lots of people. That's what I would say would be the best part.
And they all stood up and they clapped and they all took notice of what you were saying. Why is it so important to get people to take notice?
It's because if we don't act now, the water, what Africans are doing, because Africans aren't the richest people, they would get dirty water, what contains toxics, and it can really hurt them. And it's not only for African people and any other people who drink through that water, it's also for the wildlife, because lots of birds like pigeons and curlews drink from that water, and if the water is poisoned, they'll get poisonous water and it'll hurt them as well.
And can you remember what it was that first made you worry about the animals?
Yeah. When I was in preschool, my teacher showed me a picture of a dead whale dying from plastic.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and the plastic was filled all the way to its mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, and I said, oh no, I thought, oh no, I got to do something to help all these creatures. And when I got back home, I told my daddy about that. And then he's just said, let's do some documentaries about them so we can help and spread the awareness about all the wildlife.
What a great team you are.
Yeah, amazing team. What was it like when that big panda rocked up at your school?
Oh, I was like, what's going on? A panda?
Here it is, look, here's the moment. See? There it is!
Yeah!
Dude, Williams. Were you surprised?
I was really surprised. Yeah, I was like, boom!
Boom. And how about you, Dad? How does it feel? Is it like boom for you?
Yeah, it is actually. Means we never expected that when we started. So we started, to raise and spread the awareness. So, as everyone says, that okay, one YouTube channel, one YouTube video at a time. It was a lockdown. Anish told us that okay, we need to do something. So then we thought like, okay, let's go out into the wild and do something for the wildlife as well.
And what did you think when you saw him on that stage?
It was proud actually. So yeah, presenting in front of 3,000 people, it's a real he needs to have that confidence, and I believe that he has got that confidence because the way he presents and the way he communicates to us, he believes in himself. I feel like okay, it's coming out there.
I think you're right. Anishwa, do you have a favourite animal?
Yeah, that's a really hard one.
You like them all?
Yeah, but I would say my favourite animal, I think like land animal like the ones that can walk on land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like one in particular? Tigers or elephants or...
Pandas?
Pigeons.
Yeah.
Pigeons? Wow, that's an interesting
like your
choice.
Pigeons. But I happen to
I'm
know
just saying, like, if you said, like, pigeons are a bird and that's an animal, I'm just saying that. And I would say my favourite bird would be the peregrine because it's super duper fast.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You can clock up to 200. My favourite bug is the hornet because it's really dangerous.
Really?
And my favourite amphibian is the mega giant.
But what if Rex
salamander.
the dog is watching tonight? You quite like him, don't you?
Your
Yeah,
dog.
I also like him.
That's your
Good
dog.
job you said that.
Yeah, he's my favourite animal.
I thought he might be. Look, you guys are fantastic. You've stolen the show here too as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you
to
so
meet
much.
you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Let's get the weather quickly from Joe.
That sunshine really made your eyeshadow pop, And you put the wipe in the bin, not the toilet.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Go Egg Queen.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. We started the day with plenty of warm sunshine across the region. A bit more cloud building as we head towards this evening, but lots of quiet weather through the rest of this week. Good news if you're still on your Easter holidays. There'll be the odd shower around, but some sunny spells to look forward to. Gradually cooling down as we go through the next few days and nights. Fronts really not making much headway towards the UK over the next couple of days or so. They're being kept at bay out in the west. Slightly more cloud building, a fresh easterly breeze picking up, but really very settled and pleasant. And tonight, we're largely free from frost. There's a fair amount of cloud cover around, a gentle breeze. A dry night to come, a few spots of drizzle in the air here and there, probably 3 or 4 Celsius, the overnight low. On to tomorrow, and first of all, the sun times. It will be rising tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, setting at 8:21. For tomorrow then, perhaps a cloudy start where you are, a little bit chilly, 3 or 4 degrees away from towns and cities. Skies will brighten, there'll be some nice sunshine on offer, bits and pieces of cloud through the afternoon. It should be, though, a largely dry day, and temperatures will do pretty well tomorrow afternoon, reaching 16 or 17 Celsius at best, with a slight easterly breeze at worst. Now into tomorrow night it remains dry and the outlook more cloud around for Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Temperatures are around average for the time of year. That wind will pick up just a little bit as we get towards the weekend, and at the moment the weekend looks largely dry if a little cloudy, so if you're planning some outings the next few days aren't looking too bad at all, and there's no real frost or ice risk by night. Have a jolly evening. See you again soon. Bye bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Those eyebrows are unreal.
Beaches like our country.
Do you know, we've just been getting some really helpful tips from Anishwa about using less electricity.
Absolutely.
We've got our lights on and we really need to make sure that we switch them off.
Turn them off when we're not sat here.
So we're going to go and we're going to switch our lights off. Thank you very much for that, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Good night from all of us.